This is the At Home with Zac
and TT reporting on the game that has just finished in EFL or Carabao Cup first round. Crawley Town 1, Millwall
3.
Bing. A game that felt like a bit of a pre-season friendly, the last competitive pre-season friendly, and of course our first competitive game of the season. But it was a good run out for the Lions. It was a game that sets us up well for the league debut against Stoke next weekend. And hopefully, we've got a few defensive errors out the way, a few loose passes out the way, and like I said, sharpened us up to really go again next weekend. But before we go anywhere else, we have to talk about the disaster that is iFollow. So we can't talk about the first 21 minutes of the match.
No.
I think it was actually first 25 minutes of the match, because even though we'd paid for it, even though we'd set it up lovely, iFollow did not want to let us watch the match. It was an absolute disaster. Started, then it went back to training, then it showed us some ads, anything but the game. Obviously, we missed the first goal, which was apparently a volley at the back post. Woods crossed it in, and Scott Malone finished it at the far post.
The new player.
The new player. And then we were watching it with Crawley Town's commentary, which was interesting.
Interesting,
to say the
they
least.
called Matt Smith Ryan Woods.
So
Yes.
So
When Matt Smith went down for the header, they said Ryan Woods scored it. It was
Slight differences.
It was a very funny commentary.
It was, yes, I don't think it was supposed to be slapstick commentary, but it ended up being that. Anyway, let's get that out of the way. iFollow is absolutely useless, but there's no other way we get to watch it, and so that's what we're dealing with at the moment. We started with a normal, it's got to be a normal 5-2-3 formation at the moment.
Yeah.
That seems to be preferred under Gary Rowett. Bartosz Biliakowski in goal. The three centre-backs were Murray Wallace, Jake Cooper and Sean Hutchinson. Left wing-back making his second competitive debut for the Lions was Scott Malone. Right wing-back was Ryan Leonard. In midfield we had Ryan Woods and Ben Thompson. And up front we had Mason Bennett left wing. The striker was Matt Smith, and to his right was Connor Mahoney. Like I said, going forward, I felt that we looked very dangerous. At the back, we looked a little bit fragile. So if we go through each individual player, I didn't think Bart had too much to do today, other than what I really liked is we tried to use him a little bit more in the distribution.
You've been teaching the Lions how to do that as well.
I have.
To take it back and then pass it out.
Yeah, and that's what I felt that...
we've done that today.
Yeah, I thought that Bart done that a little bit more. Obviously, distribution is not Bart's strongest point, but you want to be able to use him. You want to be able to relieve the pressure a little bit and transfer the ball from side to side to start attack down the opposite wing. And I think Bart done that pretty well today.
Very well.
I think he was slightly out of position for the goal that Crawley scored, but
it was right in the corner, so there's nothing you can do.
No,
really.
there was nothing really that he could do about it. So for me, he got a 7. If you move to our back three, I felt that one was really good. The other one played all right, a steady performance, and the second one made a couple of elementary errors, which
he made schoolboy errors,
which against better teams, obviously it cost us even today against Crawley Town, but is going to certainly going to cost you.
Like West. Did West Brom go up?
They did, yes.
So against
any other championship team.
Any other championship team.
Obviously not
that
Cheltenham.
Will be that will be very, very costly, because in the championship it's harder to score goals, whereas in today it was easier to score goals because they're League 2, they're 2 leagues below us, but championship they would cost us, maybe we wouldn't be in the championship anymore. Maybe
I think and that's, you hope that it's an early season thing. But for me, to break it down, I thought that Murray Wallace was our best centre back. I thought he was
central back.
He was excellent. I thought that he's didn't make any mistakes defensively. Going forward, drove the ball out of defence. Thanks very much. But I don't pay him. So he drove the ball out of defence really well. Obviously, Jake Cooper is dangerous from Coopers. You've got me all flustered now. He's Cooper,
from corners.
Corners.
He was meant to say.
I was meant to say. Yeah, it's dangerous from corners. Probably should have scored a hat trick. He got his head on it. Obviously, he's there for the second goal.
It was one of them Sunday League funny videos, because he's headed it. it's hit their defender, it's hit the knee of the defender and went in.
Yeah.
It was the most unlucky goal I've seen Millwall ever score for
their opponents.
Yeah.
So you
but
meant to say
very
the
lucky for us.
So that's obviously put us 2-0 up. But then on the flip side of that, I thought that Hutch had a pretty poor game for him. Defensively, he was okay, other than the swipe that obviously caused the Crawley goal. You know, he's got to be doing something, getting any kind of contact on that. But he has a big swipe, but it misses it.
Was it Hugo Lloris that done that when it went in at Spurs? When he tried to kick it, but it went all the way back.
And going back.
That's literally what he done.
Going back, Tim Flower's done it. He was an old Blackburn goalkeeper, but he blamed the pitch. And to be fair, he dug out the pitch and he bounced over it. But yeah, he swiped the ball, missed it by an absolute mile. A couple of under-hit passes, you know, a couple of loose passes. One that he sold Bart short. Fortunately, Bart just got there in front of the attacker to clear it away. But like I said, for me, you expect a little bit better from Hutch. You know, his standards are very high. Distribution's never been his strong point, but you don't expect him to be making silly mistakes like that. So hopefully he's got that out of the way. For me, he gets a 6. Wallace got an 8 and Cooper got a 7.
But our defence today, along with the rest of the team, very sloppy. Very sloppy.
It was sloppy, but defensively we didn't really look like getting beat. I remember them having a chance about just after they scored their first goal, funny enough, where he's cutting from the right and just missed the target you'd expect him. But they didn't really have any quality throughout that whole Crawley Town team. They didn't have anyone that looked dangerous to beat us.
It's Crawley in League 2, so you can't expect them to do anything.
No, but you'd expect them to work hard, which they did, and then you'd hope, and they probably would hope that once they got to the final third, I thought that, I was saying to you during the game that in a cup tie you'd expect them to push further forward, and they just seemed
They were literally... All of their midfield and defence were back.
Yeah.
Only their striker was up front.
And now we'll move forward to the left wing back and right wing back. I thought Ryan had a very safe game at right wing back. No real mistakes. You know, he had a shot on the edge of the box, which you like to see from Ryan Leonard, because he certainly bang them like he did against Hull.
Yeah, like against Hull. I was like, go on. And then it went over the bar. I was like, oh, he can do so much better than that. But
so for me, he gets a 7. And obviously the second competitive debut from Scott Malone. And I think he's a very good signing, you know. If you look back, he always used to make mistakes defensively. Sorry, am I keeping you up? So he always used to make mistakes defensively in a back 4, and I think he's quite vulnerable in a back 4. But this back 5 really suits his attacking kind of flair in his game. You know, he likes to get forwards. He's got the support of the back 3 to pick up on any mistakes that he might make, and obviously he pops up with a goal early doors that we didn't see, but. I think he's a great addition and a very astute signing from Gary Rowett. Obviously gets on really well with Mason Bennett. You know, they've both come down. I think they're going to commute together because their families live in Derby and little things like that. You know, you don't see that. From a signing, most people are not going to take much notice of little things like that. But that helps them settle in. That helps them feel part of the team. It helps them feel more comfortable. If they're travelling in and out together of a decent commute, it's going to make a big difference. For me, Scott Malone also got a 7. He made a few mistakes late on in the game. I thought maybe he was getting a bit tired, but he still was working really hard.
He's quick as well, which we don't have at the left back spot unless it's Ferguson. But we like Ferguson to play up of the pitch because his crosses are really good. So to have a quick left back aside Shane Ferguson is really, really good.
What it gives us going forward is the fact that we can attack on both wings. You know, we're now going to have that, because I think it's really important that you work in partnerships down the wing. And obviously we'll have a right wing back and right midfield in Jed Wallace and Marlon Romeo, and down the left you're going to now have Scott Malone and Mason Bennett. And those partnerships help win games. Those little knowing each other's games is going to help moving forward. Move to the central midfield. Ben Thompson, I thought, had a really strong game. You know, he's always quick on the ball. It's so hard to get the ball off. You know, he's got such a low centre of gravity. He changes direction really well. The defenders always feel like they're going to get the ball. They don't. He nicks it away. For me, comfortably an 8. What about you for Ben Thompson?
Well, along with the rest of the team, he was well. They didn't really show up to a point of if they were playing a championship. Even if you're playing bad teams, doesn't matter, show your best. But today, none of the players really showed their best, so I'll give him a 7.5.
7.5. And then we go to my man of the match, who I thought was
mine too.
Absolutely superb. The Ginger Ninja, the right, the central midfielder, fantastic, Ryan Woods, who I thought gives, he's the class in the game. So many times in games we've not had a midfielder that can just control it and dictate the game, and he done that very well today.
Literally, if the ball come from 50 metres above, he could still control it. It's just...
I thought you turned into a ballerina then. But his play, his time on the ball, he's looking to go forward. He's looking to drive the ball forward. He's looking to pass the ball forward. He's willing to accept the ball from the back and literally take the ball from back to front, which is what you really want from your central midfielders. And I felt that he was absolutely superb today. Obviously, it's against lower league opposition and you'd expect him to do that, but he really showed the quality of what we've now got in the central midfield. So for me, comfortably was man of the match and comfortably got a 9. We then moved to our front three. We had Mason Bennett, who I didn't think really got too much into the game. Obviously, we only saw half the first half and he come off at half time. Hopefully there's no injury involved. But what he did, he seemed to do well. He puts defenders under pressure, run really well. For me, gets a 6. The right midfielder, the right winger was Connor Mahoney. He goes through stages where, yes, he doesn't do little bits, he doesn't tackle hard, but, his brilliance from corners, he's set up a couple of chances for Matt Smith in the second half. He adds that little bit of quality. And
he's more consistent than Jed Wallace with corners. As well.
Yeah, although Jed's excellent from set pieces, but yeah, I would actually agree.
He can get it into the box, whereas in Jed's sometimes just go straight to the first man.
Yeah, so for me, Connor Mahoney got a 7. It's going to be interesting to see how much game time he gets, because I think he should get more and more time, gets more and more confidence.
Because then, when you get more and more time, that means you get more and more better at football, because you're just playing more, you get to know what the game is, and that's what Connor Mahoney needs to do with Millwall at the moment.
And then we had Matt Smith up front, who scored the third goal, which was a really well-worked short corner.
It was a brilliant header as well.
It was.
Well, from Ryan Woods apparently, but
yeah, according to the commentator. But the corner was taken quickly by Jed Wallace. Scott Malone came in. I think he passed it back to Jed. I think Jed crossed it, or was it Scott Malone? I think it was. It
was Jed.
I remember. So Jed crosses it back.
Jed passing it to.
And then Matt Smith dips down low at the far post. By the time he's headed it, he's shin level. He's done well to get a contact on it. It was awful defending. They've switched off completely and left him alone.
But that run through just shows that he's a true striker.
Excellent movement by Matt Smith, and he created another great chance at the back post, and that was a Connor Mahoney cross. Smith's banged it. It's going top corner. It's a good save by the goalkeeper. The three players, like I said, that came on. So Jed Wallace came on. Should have scored right, or should have passed it right as soon as he came on in the 46th minute. Gets a bit of luck, drives to the byline, and then tries a shot. Probably should have crossed it back. Leonard was on about the penalty spot. Probably would have finished it.
Bradshaw is the next sub.
Yeah, Bradshaw done all right. I thought
he is just like normal Bradshaw. He works, but not hard enough.
I thought he worked hard enough.
I don't think he worked hard enough.
Well, I feel like he did work, but whether he creates enough, or obviously he was playing left wing, which is not his position.
No
way. You want to see him up front, but
he never plays left wing.
He gets some game time. The game's won at that stage, so it's good to see him on the pitch. And the other one was Sean Williams that came on for Ryan Woods after the hour. Sean Williams, completely different for me to Ryan Woods, other than the fact that yes, they can control the play, but Williams looks to play the ball backwards. Keep possession, but he seems so comfortable and so composed on the ball. But you look through that, it's 3 goals against lower league opposition. We're now into the draw for the second round, which is excellent. I'm sure Gary Rowett will say in his post-match interview that we saw this as the first competitive game. We wanted to give it our all,
and we did try.
So overall, I'm happy with the performance and completely disgusted with iFollow. What's your to wrap it up? Any final words?
iFollow, make sure you actually let us watch the first 21 minutes of the game next time. And well, good performance from the Lions. Not their greatest, but it's against the League Two side that we won against. So
Football is back. Millwall are back. We're not back.
competitive games are back.
We're not back yet, but as soon as we can be, hopefully Mill will let me buy my season tickets.
Please.
Hopefully they will. I've got this shirt on, obviously, because it's the new away shirt which I bought for Zac yesterday. He's already got the home shirt.
I'm excited to get it because it's actually one of my favourite away kits.
It does look nice. I love the yellow one from last year. Let's see what happens with the third shirt. Different colours flying about, but we'll see what happens with the third shirt. But really happy with the away shirt. Really happy with the home shirt, and we're happy that we're into the second round of the Carabao Cup.
Come back to football.
No one likes us.
We don't care.
Come on, you lot.